Okay ค่ะ Welcome to the session, the first sessions in the afternoon now นะคะ So what we have in this session is going to cover the data privacy and trust. May I ask our speakers to introduce yourselves, please? Yeah, may I start from there?
Okay, I'm Pattarakit Saingarm working at Kasikorn Bank right now. So my interest and so my current role is all around technology, AI, and data, like you do in this room. Before stepping into FSI industry, I have various experiences across the regions from retail businesses, from e-commerce platform, and so from telco as well. So one thing I would like to mention about our region is that we are quite unique, we are complex. And also we have variety maturity level of data and AI, also data privacy as well, depending on the size of the organization, also the industry you are in. So I hope that we will have the insightful conversation today in our sessions, right? Thank you.
My name is Aitsanart. Wuthithanakul. I'm currently a director of data analytics at Lotus. I look after data platform for Lotus Thailand and Lotus Malaysia. My background is in strategy and research.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Sartsata Junda, but my nickname is Tan. So currently I serve as the head of Financial Crime Compliance Program Management Department at Krungsri. But before I joined my current position, I worked as an auditor at EY offices for 3 years. And after that, I worked as a regulator in the Security and Exchange Commission, or TSEC, for 9 years. And after that, I briefly served as a CFO at one of the crypto exchange company in Thailand. So in overall, I have a mixed expertise across multiple disciplinary, like an audit, risk, and information security and cybersecurity. And thank you everyone for being here and having me. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gents. I'm Akarin. I'm working at Energy Absolute. We are the power producers. We make EV assemblies. We operate 500 charging stations. We operate 2,000 e-bus in Bangkok. And we do also develop the data center infrastructures in Thailand as well. Currently, I'm responsible for overall project for the groups. My background, I have been working in the energy sector for the last 20 years. So to make it simple, I built power plants at the beginning of my career. Then after that, I developed all these EV infrastructures and also the data center infrastructure as well. Glad to be here. Thank you.
So we have speakers from many industries, and now we are going to start our discussion so that when we have discussed about things here, if you have any questions, you can wait until the end, and then I will ask for the questions from the floor at the end, okay? Okay, let's start. First questions. This will be questions for Kun Aitsanart. In today's digital-first environment, how does embedding privacy by design or strong privacy leadership lead to competitive advantage or strengthen trust and long-term brand reputation?
I think I'll answer this question in twofold. So the first one, sometimes people understand that if you basically have good privacies, you will lead the industry, which I don't think that's the case, because basically now privacy is something that people expected, right? So you have to do that to comply with the rules and regulations, but it doesn't mean that your organization will basically surpass other organizations. What I think privacy will set the company apart is basically when the management can see that they're willing to trade on, say, short-term revenue, short-term profit over the privacy itself. So says, if you're willing to sacrifice certain revenue in the short term, but you protect privacies and you show that to consumers, and consumers start to trust your brand more and more, then that will become the key differentiator point. Example would be the case of Apple, that they really hold into that policy that they have announced to the consumers, and that's why there's trust that consumers have for the company. So I think that's that.
Then may I ask Kun Pattarakit for the next questions that following on. Beyond regulatory compliance, what are business benefits from data privacy and governance practices?
So I would like to highlight 3 explicit benefits from utilizing data in terms of like governance and so in terms of like the profitability way as well, right? So the first one will be if we control data in the centers, right? Centralize our data frameworks, data governance frameworks, and also like privacy as well. We can scale it faster in terms of like, for example, in the use case and UI and AI. If we control in terms of a hub and spoke, so we have the hub that at the centers, right? And then we have the spoke. So at the hub, we will have the governance framework at the central area and also other model ops and other data privacy as well. And then we have the spoke. So then the spokes will kind of like localize this kind of governance frameworks or the use case in terms of comply with each market. For example, if the company at the regional, right, in Singapore office, develop the world-class use case of data for privacy for our customers, right, and the Bangkok office would like to adopt that kind of use case as well, then the spoke will borrow that kind of use case of data privacy to our Bangkok office and then scale in terms of like comply with BOT Bank of Thailand and also comply with our customer at the local markets as well. This is the thing that we can scale it more faster, more like faster time to market as well, right? And then I would like to say that in our industry, in terms of like highly regulated industry like banking, trust is really the only currencies that we have with our regulators and our customers as well. So because we can run the business because our regulator trusts us to do so because our model, our data policy is very explainable, right? This is one thing. And another thing is that if our customer has trust with our service and product, it will give us superior return and also a better ROI as well. So I think it would be 2 explicit benefits. And apart from that, I think it should be like in terms of when we deal with our risk and also disrupt technology, if we have the governance framework or data privacy framework, it would be more easier to adapt to that kind of technology in terms of like the more disruptive era of this AI, for example. Yeah.
So on banking, foreign, what Kun Pattarakit just said, I have another question for our speaker from another bank. We have the questions about transparencies. How can transparencies, privacies, policies improve customer confidence and support digital innovation across industries? So start with banking sector. Kun Sartsata, please.
Yes, thank you for the question. So I think I will try to sync up and tie it back to what Kun Pattarakit just mentioned. So I mean, in my personal opinion, from my experience and professional judgment, I think the transparency of the privacy policy can be. I think what he said that it is like one of the main currency of the bank. It is like a very good metaphor. So the transparency of the privacy can earn your customer trust by reducing the ambiguity of what the customer put the data into the environment. So it reduces the degree of the black box that happens every day in the current application market and environment, and it can reduce the degree of uncertainty of how the AI or how the app process the customer data. So that is one way that the transparency of the privacy policy can be a positive and contribute to the brand. Another four is that I think when we talk about transparency, it doesn't have to be about all of the technical terms. It doesn't have to always be like that. But I think on the contrary, it should be about how do you convey your privacy policies to the customer in a normal language, in a layman language, and you give your customer a very clear and easy to understand of how their data is processed and how their data is stored and secured by your company. So I think, and the last one that I think the transparency of the privacy policy can help the brand is that it can reduce the regulatory risk and reduce the compliance risk in general. So because if we remain on the top of the game in terms of privacy compliance, to the best of our abilities, then we can be sure that at least we will not expose ourselves to the privacy risk, compliance risk, and regulatory risk should it materialize. So I think this is the three ways that the transparency of the privacy policy and how you embed that privacy into your brand and your business can help. Yeah. How
about our representative from energy industry?
Well, I come from another world. I will put it this way. But basically, I think we say the same things. Transparency is everything. Because in my opinion, layer privacy architecture would achieve all the goals. Why? Because a plain language summary answering the customer questions. What do we get? Why? And who will see the data? Would gain them the trust. Because, and together with the support of a full technical policy on demand, plus a kind of a consent dashboard that the client can see what are their choices, what can they select, what can they allow us to see, and so on. So privacy will shift from the static legal to the kind of a live product features. Because we have to gain their acceptance, we have to gain their trust, because otherwise we cannot collect all the necessary data which would improve our business. In our context, I can give you an example. One of the good examples would be in the EV business, because we would need the information from for example, EV drivers. Well, for our doubts, we do not sell the passenger cars, but we do make a kind of a commercial EV assemblies, trucks, buses. As you may see, 2,000 e-buses running in Bangkok. This is under our subsidiary. So in order to get all this information, we need to gain trust from the EV drivers, because their consent would unlock all the necessary data, which is quite sensitive, because they are the behavior data. Human behavior is everything for our business, because based on such behavior data, we could improve all the products. For the EV, we can monitor how they discharge their vehicles, how do they drive it, what would be their electricity or energy consumptions, what kind of route optimization do they use, what kind of the performance of the vehicles and the battery lifetime, which would impact our liability as well. So the key is that we have to treat this data carefully under the very good governance, because we do believe that trust is the key to unlock for the entire data chain value. And apart from that, in order to enhance the performance of our businesses, we also do need to have that kind of a consensus from all the related parties. Because we are not in EV business only, we are also selling energy to all the consumers. Even though we operate under the regulation of the ERC, the regulators, but still, we also have to maintain all the trust and relationship with all the consumer as well. So that's all.
Thank you. I would like to add to the answer from both of us. Here in Thailand, the banking sector is regulated very strongly, and I think this one is because we need trust, right? We need trust from our customer that whatever we store, the informations about our customer have to be saved, right? And also for all the business, it's kind of, sales, purchase, all the detail about address, like when we buy some stuff on online platform, the e-commerce, right? We have to put our information so that they can send us the package, right? How much is the information stored in the platform system, or is transferred to the seller? How they operate, right? This is quite important for all industry, not just only banking or energy or even retail. Another question that I would like to ask Akarin. So, how should organizations position data privacy as a core business and leadership priority?
Well, I think this is the difficult one, actually. Okay, from our business point of view, we try to collect only the necessary data, which means that we would try to gain the necessary consent only. But in order to do so, we have to define the business objective first. Why do we need such data? For example, in our business, we do many things. We do a kind of predictive maintenance for our wind and solar farms. We also collect the data from the EV driver, for the telematic analytic. We also do the battery factories, quality control. And based on this kind of business, then we make a kind of a reverse engineering in order to focus on the minimum data required to achieve our goals. So this discipline also helps us to limit exposure by the design of the architecture itself. And if we can do this, then we can also avoid that in order to make a kind of a broadened data collection followed by the downstream legal requirements or growing regulatory liabilities, then we do just what necessary to be done. So in our business, we operate across multi-sectors. We operate across the power generation. We operate across the EV assembly. We operate across the battery factories. And also the data center infrastructure development as well. Each business generates sensitive data, touching all the parties, or the counterparties. And so in order to control this kind of sensitivity, we have to work under the three disciplines. What do we establish in our companies that we make a kind of a cross-functional accountability? So we know who is responsible for what. And also we create the pre-approved data use frameworks. Then we don't have to redo all the work again and again, every time. And the most important thing is the architecture enforcement. Why? Because we do believe that the privacy governance is the architecture that let us work around and between all the business units. And we do believe that this is one of the key first steps that we all need to do if we do multi-sector business.
How about Pattarakit? Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, totally agree with Akarin. And also I would like to add that the industry has been shifted, and also the organization need to be changed and aligned with that trend as well. So to successfully scale that kind of data privacy initiatives, so a company should be stay competitive in terms of like the operating model, and also from the shift from model-based risk to outcome-based risk as well. Because it will be it's no longer just check the box of compliance for our regulators and also for our customer as well. But it will be the bigger questions like how could we utilize our data in terms of like uplift our customer life or change the way that our product or offerings can serve our customers, right? Here's the example of the chief that would be in the trends of our AI as well, right? So, and apart from that, I think, for example, in terms of like data and AI, there's lots of like use cases, lots of like initiative about data privacy and data security as well. So we need to view data as an like, for example, onion of data security. We have the core at the our data at the core, and we have like 3 or 4 layers of protection. So, for example, the first layer might be the encryption, the second might be the surveillance or monitoring process, right? And the third one will be like the gate that even if our authorized scientists or data engineer can learn from that kind of data at the center, but they just cannot totally export from the original data from that kind of environment. So this will be the shift of companies to stay competitive in the market, I would say.
I have additional questions here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think many companies have the policy about encryptions or the data or documents sent out from the organizations. But with the encryptions, we need a password to access the file. Normally, you may say that you got the email with the encrypted files, followed by the email with the password. So I don't understand how the encryptions like that would, protect us, and how this should be enhance the process of encryptions, or how we gonna get rid of the breach like this.
I think it should be built naturally in terms of like that kind of data or data fabric as well, right? So it will be encrypted at that level, not just the email and also sending some passwords, right? So it will be in terms of like we have authorized person, some kind of authorized in a peer-approved process, or the whitelist can access that kind of data. We can debottleneck the process of data security and data access as well by the layer of the protection here. So we can debottleneck the process. I'll give you an example here that in the traditional way, when we try to scale the use case, it will take like 1 or 2 years to scale that kind of use case, because we have a silo of data granted for a data engineer and also the use case to scale as well, right? So by we debottleneck the process of the data approval in terms of like the layer of protection in the whitelist for our data engineer as well, we can scale it into like just 2 or 3 months. This is the example of leading bank in Singapore as well. Like, so the environment should be changed in terms of like data security as well, not just only the email and password, I would say. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think I can have additional comments on this. I think what you mentioned, the fact that an encrypted email with a file was sent subsequently with a password. I think what they are trying to achieve here is they try to use a concept of like in-band or off-band key, so that at least the least they can do is that they decompartmentalize the risk, so that at least they don't put the password into the same email as the file itself, but the channel that was sent is the same anyway. So I think they try to leverage the concept of like in-band and like off-band key delivery, which of course opens for more room for improvement. Yeah, like whether it's like it should be like attribute-based password, or like authentication, or like entirely different channel to send the password, or like for the whole way. Yeah, so I think there is a reason there, and there is a room for improvement. Yeah.
Thank you. Then I have another question. This will be about privacy by design. I would like to ask Kun Aitsanart, how can organizations practically integrate privacy by design to ongoing digital transformations and AI adoptions initiatives?
I think I'll answer that in two folds. The first one, I think you have to really put privacies when you start to decide anything. For what I see now is that the privacies or compliance will come later. So the business will want to transform, the entire intent process first, and then they'll be like, okay, we need to comply with privacies. How can we do that, right? So privacies come at the end, right? It's not from the beginning. So I think when you talk about privacy by design, you have to really think about privacies from the beginning before you decide any process, right? So that's one thing for sure that I think the company have to do. Yeah.
And it's like we try to enhance the process to ensure the data privacy is not to leak from the beginning, right? And how does this could enhance customer expectations, or how customer expectations allow privacy involving in Thailand and across ASEAN?
Okay, I'll add on that a little bit. When we talk about privacy by design, right? It's not only that we have to put privacies from the beginning when you design a process, but at the same time, I think it's really important that we have the buy-in from top level, CEO, management. Otherwise, I think privacy will just becomes a theater to show that the company comply, but actually no one really care about it because they know that the management doesn't care about it. That will basically link back to the consumer as well. Again, there's always a conflict between what the media says and what we understand, right? We talk about what research say, what people say, they will say that Thai consumers or ASEAN consumers, they start to care much more about privacy, right? People now understand that privacy is their rights, right? So that's, if you read anything, you hear about that people become more aware of their rights to privacies. But because I'm from the retail sector, I can see that the actual behavior that consumers are doing at the point of contact, they still don't really care about privacies. So say if I say, can I collect your information and I'll give you like 20 baht coupon, if I give you 100 baht coupon and you give me your data, a lot of consumers will just click yes. If I write out and say 3 pages of privacy is consent, no one reads it. So although the media and everything saying that people are becoming more concerned about the privacies, in reality, I don't think people are. So in terms of how should we go about that, right? First of all, I don't think that we should be like, okay, consumer doesn't care, then we just don't do anything about it. Because they will care once it affects their life. Spams, people do hyper targeting and that start to annoy them. So they will care in that sense. So I think instead of just don't do anything, you should lead the fact that, these are preliminary results that the company should do in order to make sure that consumers have their rights protected. So you should show and lead the example for consumers. You don't wait until the consumer come and ask for it, but you lead and show them.
Yeah, I may add that I fully agree on this because that's what we are doing here in our company as well. Because we do believe that privacy governance is the key. That's why I previously mentioned that we need to show them what are we going to collect, why, and who see this. And then they give the optional to see everything, what they would give us the consent.
And I think we can top it up with, you mentioned about privacy governance, right? We can also top it up with the AI governance because AI is process data a lot. So I think one of the key themes that are being discussed at every panel discussion now is about how to govern AI and how do you ensure that the use of AI in your organization has a good governance and it is there's a good control over it. Yeah.
Can I ask Kun Pattarakit to add to these questions in the sense of not just only in Thailand that we may talk about data privacy, but also Asia or ASEAN?
So about benefit to our customers, right? So I will give 2 examples from the different industry. The first one will be from retail or e-commerce platform, and the second one will be banking, right? So the first one, I think customer expect the usage of data in terms of like the respect in a respectful way and also like a contextual way as well. So for example, if you collect data from a customer in the e-commerce platform, we would like to learn about that kind of a personas and profile of customers, right? So we can suggest the appropriate products for customers. So this is the terms of like expectation from a customer that they would like to get personalized notification, not just in terms of like the product that they would like to shop for, right? This is the example from the e-commerce platform. So, and apart from that, I think it's like the expandability of the data usage as well. So in terms of banking industry, for example, in applications, if our customer apply for the loan and got rejected by our AI agent, not human, right? So there should be some explainability from that AI, also explainable reason why our customer got rejected by the model, right? It's not just, at the end of the day, it's not just like our AI suggests that so we cannot explain this to our customer and also regulator as well. So it should be explained in terms of the underwriting or the profile or the credit of that kind of a customer in a specific way. So this is the second thing. So I think it's very expectation from a customer in terms of like contextual and also explainable of AI or data usage as well.
As a customer of e-commerce platform, I think everyone here have ordered stuff from e-commerce platform. But have you ever noticed your own behaviors when the package arrives you and you get things out of the box, and then what do you do with that box? You just throw it away? Or you take out the label with your address first. For me, I take out all the labels. But I don't think that 99% of the population here will do like what I'm doing. So why do we care about data privacy when we send the information to the company, I could feel that that's because we would like to comply with the regulations is one of the things. It's quite weak when we look back to that. Because our customer expect that or require our their information to be safe. So the next question is about regulations. How to comply. So how can enterprises align their privacy strategies with Thailand's PDPA while also meeting ASEAN and global data governance standards? Because, Thailand is one of the large exporting country. So we have to align with the regulations abroad as well. So may I ask Kun Sartsata to answer this first.
Okay, so I think I have 3 thoughts about this one on how to comply with the Thailand PDPA while also being able to keep up the pace with the Asian and the global privacy regulation. So I think number one is that on the enterprise level, and again, this is from my personal opinion, on the enterprise level, you should treat the privacy and the compliance in general as an operation. So in a way, you can say that you should operationalize all the compliance activities into your everyday business process. In that way, you can say that you embrace the privacy by design and compliance by design in everything that you do on your day-to-day business, which is everything that you do to make the profit and make the revenue for your company. So I think the first key is to operationalize the privacy tasks and the compliance tasks into your everyday business. And the second one, it is about the architecture. The architecture of your approach to the privacy in general, because as we all may know that Thailand PDPA is closely aligned with the EU GDPR. So if you can set up your privacy program in kind of like a skeleton that can be map and parallel to the global privacy architecture as a whole. That way you can dissect and you can closely align each element of your privacy program to the larger landscape, like for the Asian region or like even the global as a whole. So the second point of my answer is it is about the architecture or the skeleton of your privacy program. And the third one, it is about the cooperation. And when I say cooperation, it is a cooperation between first line and second line. So when we talk about the privacy and the compliance, I think it wouldn't be a complete discussion about the compliance and privacy without talking about the three-line models. So as you all may know, so the first line is every business unit that on the ground, dealing with the customer, dealing with the vendors, doing operational tasks. And the second line is where we all come in. So it is where the compliance and the privacy department help oversee and be a guardian to the risk that the company may face. So when I say cooperation, it is the cooperation between the first line and the second line. In that, the second line should take into account what the first line is trying to achieve on the ground. And the first line should also embrace the second line helps to be a co-counsel by embedding the concern about the privacy and concern about the compliance into every step of the way. So I think a little bit merging of the first line and second line will also help the organization to comply with both domestic, regional, and global privacy requirements. Yeah.
Okay, may I ask Akarin to add in?
Sure. Okay. From our point of view, because I think we need to add another things, because for us we are working with international technical partners, like with with many Chinese companies in the battery and technology fields. Because the thing that we are focusing on is the multi-jurisdictional reality. Because we need to align with not just one standard. We need to align with all the related standards. So in order to satisfying multiple frameworks simultaneously, when those frameworks are not aligned at all, this is quite a challenge. You can imagine that since we are doing a kind of a multi-sector business, power plants, EV, batteries, even data centers, we need to work with multi-international companies. In the basic, in the plain concept, if we work with the European companies, this is much easier. But when we work with, let's say, some company from China, for example, one of the most difficult things is that how do we satisfy all the requirements? Because sometimes even we can align with the PDPA in Thailand, but when we talk about the China security laws, this is totally another world. And still, in order to move forward, this is still quite challenging job for us, because we do need consent from all related parties, and this problem I would share that is still kind of live and challenging for us.
I think I find similar issues because CIMB Thai also have headquarters in Malaysia, and we have to, follow both regulations by BOT, the Bank of Thailand, and also the BNM, the NEGA as well. So yeah, it's quite challenging for me when I have to kind of accommodate the requirement from Malaysia.
And I think this just came into my head like just now. So another way of keeping your privacy program like open-end and maybe like more interoperable with another country as a whole is that you can also think about adopting the ISO 27701, right? Which is these ISO standards that mainly related to the privacy information management system. So I think to a degree, you may be able to communicate in the same language with another country in terms of the privacy language by at least embracing or considering what ISO 27701 is about. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's my last question. So may I invite questions from the floor? Do we have any questions? No? Okay. Then let me come back to the speaker to help us to provide the key takeaway for these sessions. May I start with Kun Akarin, please?
Sure. Well, I would say that there are two key things for our business. One thing is how to gain trust from the counterparties and the clients. And another thing is how could we enhance or establish the privacy governance. This is a starting point. We don't have to wait for the request from the counterparties or the clients, but we should establish from the beginning.
Yeah, may I ask Kun?
For me, it would be about the cooperation. The point that I made just a few minutes ago is a cooperation between the first line and the second line in terms of how do we achieve the business objective while keeping of the privacy requirements in mind, and how can the first line be a part of a robust privacy program. So I think an engaging dialogue between these two functions can help a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, Kun Aitsanart.
I think the company have to ask themselves first whether or not they really do care about privacies. It shouldn't be just a show or just a theater to showcase to the public, right? So if you care about it, then you actually make sure that you place privacy into all the operations. Then the second thing would be for the industry that is not regulated by authorities. So say, we're not in a bank, so we're not regulated by BOT. Then you have to find a thin line between what is it that you need to collect to offer the better experience for consumers, but at the same time still respect their privacies. So you have to find that thin line. Yeah.
Thank you. Kun Pattarakit, please.
Yeah. So I think whether you are managing or running your business in Thailand, Singapore, or maybe sales office, I think the ultimate goal of us is have superior return in terms of ROI, in terms of efficient way of working, right? So I think we need to get back into the question. Sometimes we try to ask the wrong question, what data privacy initiative that our competitor are doing. So I think it will need shift into more in terms of question that how can our data privacy initiative can uplift our customers' life. So I have two key takeaways. So the first one will be the purpose, and the second will be process. For the purpose, I think we need to get back into our purpose. We need to solve a customer problem. We need to shift from the model-based approach of data privacy into outcome-based approach. So we need to ask our company that how can we help uplift our customer life by collecting their data, and also some of the use case of AI as well here. And also the second one will be the process. I think in terms of if you manage the larger scale of the organization, you need to adopt the hub and spoke model. So the centralized area here, and also the localized use case in terms of the KYC or PDPA approach for BOT, and also for other region in Southeast Asia as well. So this will be the compliance of a process that would be reinvented. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for key takeaway. And I think these sessions, we have heard from our speaker from different industries, both financial institutions, trade, and also energy. I think we all agree that data privacy is, that embedded in our business is very important and can enhance trust from our customer. But let's make our customer know that we embed this data privacy, have AI, have data governance in our business, so that it's not just on the paper, but it's become the operations. And that's thank you from our sessions. Hope you all enjoy the sessions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now I invite the moderator and the panelists. Could you please join us for the group photo on the stage, please?